Could you imagine, Brendan? This will never happen. Could you imagine if he goes, yeah, I did it, and here's why, and maybe he just tells us the truth. Maybe we like it or don't. It was a psychological thing, or these guys gave it to me, or I entrusted, or I was nervous, or I was scared, or just all these. You know what? I've been taking it my whole career, and the fear of not having it, and I took the risk, and I got busted. It would. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a storm, but boy, it will go away a lot quicker, in my opinion, than dragging this out and always being the victim. And that victim status, man, it's like, John, you got to stop. You're the baddest dude in the world. You're the toughest guy walking the planet. You got to be the toughest guy on this too. You got to have thick skin and wear it.
I think if he came out clean too, it would put an end to all the stipulation, all the assumptions. Because man, if you let me sit back and I can make up these stories in my mind and stuff he's done and previous fights he won and all this stuff, it turns him into this complete monster. Where if he just came out and was like, listen, here's what happened. 2 years ago, I got injured. I was not, I don't know what his story is, but if he just came clean, it's going to make him look so much better. It's not even funny. And I don't know who's in his ear, whoever his PR guy is, but they got to do a better job, man. Because again, you're right when he goes, I'm the victim here. Yeah, I ran into that lady, but help me. Look at me over here. Like, I know she's hurt, but I ran away and look at all I've lost. It's like, what? How the hell are we turning this around feeling sorry for you? And I'm sick of that with Jon. But, let me ask you this, Chael. And looking at Jon, I look at him and in his skill set, I go, why in the world would a guy ever do that? Why in the hell would he do PEDs? And I think you're the perfect guy to comment on this. Why did you do it, Chael? What went through your mind? Because and I've trained with you and I've obviously seen your fights. You're a monster, man. You have skills. Why were you so enticed to do it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, and it's a character flaw, but here's the straight answer. It was a very easy decision for me to make. So I had my own code, which was I'll never take any steroids and I'll never take anything illegal. But if a doctor will give it to me, if it's prescribed legal medication and I go to the pharmacy and I take it above board the same as I would anything else, that's good enough for me. To hell with what the rules say, or if I could get a doctor to call it medicine, and it's going to help me, I'm in. And Brent, I'll tell you, I've never had a drop of alcohol in my life. I've actually never taken a steroid. I've never even been accused of steroids. But when you take a PED, in the media's perception, it is steroids. So I just steered into it. I always use that word too. I took steroids and blah, blah, blah. I've actually never taken a steroid. I've never even been accused of it, but I took things on the banned list, and I knew they were on the banned list. So that's bad too, right? It was intentional. I was trying to get away with something. And how I got to that conclusion, it was easy. Now, in hindsight, I'm very ashamed of it. But just to answer your question, on the day when somebody you look up to and they grab you and they say, hey, this will help, and you've got an appointment with this doctor, and go in and get your script, man, that was easy. Okay, no problem. Put it in my calendar, popped into the doctor, got it, took it, the end.
And did you feel like a different fighter? Did you feel like it made you who you are?
No, I didn't feel any different, but I did when I quit taking it. So it definitely helped. Like, I'll hear guys say, well, yeah, but that didn't enhance my performance. Well, for me it did. I can tell you, for me it did. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't feel, stronger, feel like I recovered faster, things like that you'll hear. But when I stopped taking them, I did feel it. I felt I aged real quickly, and all of a sudden, my back hurts, and my arm hurts, and now I need 2 days off instead of one. And I felt it in that regard. At the time, no, I never felt like Superman or this is helping me, or I just knew I was supposed to take, 0.5 of this every Monday and every Thursday, and that was all I did. But when I stopped, yeah, man, I did feel it.
And when you say you never took a steroid, obviously you do steer right into this whole allegation thing in steroids, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but you were prescribed testosterone because they found low T in your blood system. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah, and testosterone is an anabolic. So if you were to get technical on me there, then I did. Perhaps I should clarify. When I was growing up, Brennan, like, we had to take classes in school. And then when I went into college and I was a scholarship Division I athlete, we had to take special classes all about steroids. And what steroids meant, so what I mean when I say it to you, steroids were always something illegal. You were buying them in an alley out of a bag, and you were taking it, and it was muscle and all this stuff. Somewhere over time, they kind of did away with the word steroids, and it became performance-enhancing drug. That one was a little bit tougher for me, and still is, because every drug, if you mean medicine, has to enhance you. If it doesn't enhance you, the FDA won't approve it. A doctor prescribes something to dehance you, that would be malpractice. So I never liked it when they went to that direction where they said, well, if it's a performance enhancer, like, well, hold on, you got to have medicines and then you got to have steroids. I know that's true because I took all of these classes and that's the way that it was. So I think if I was to clarify, maybe those words would be a little bit better. I never took anything illegal. I never took any steroids. If you wanted to bring testosterone into that, then, I guess you'd have to check my definition because it is anabolic. So it would fall under that category. But those rules were different back then. You remember the testosterone era. All you had to do was disclose it, get your TUE, and everything was fine. When that went away, then it started looking like this black eye. But it wasn't at the time. It was well within the rules.
Yeah, I knew several guys who were doing it. A lot of guys I trained with were doing it. And to be honest, we didn't look at it like it was steroids, to kind of piggyback on what you're saying. I didn't look at guys and go, oh my God, he's on PEDs or he's taking Barry Bonds steroids. I was like, oh, he has low testosterone. He's going to a doctor. It'd be the same as if he was balding, he was getting prescribed Propecia. That's the way I looked at it. I didn't look at it like they're getting this huge advantage. I looked at it like, oh, they're taking that so they can compete in the UFC because they were at this level from all the years of training. They don't have the same energy. So that's why they're doing it. So I think most professional athletes look at it that way, where society looks at it and goes, no, those are steroids. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I have always just said, steroids on my own behalf. I come out and say it before anybody else does. And, to the point that it even turned into a little bit of a shtick. But it also, I wanted to make sure I covered my base. I hate when somebody does something wrong and then they start giving, and then you start to hear that routine.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, I'll take it all. The worst possible thing you could do is a steroid. Just give me that one.
Yep.
Just paint me in that one and let's be done with it. But yeah, to your point, it is a little bit different. When the rules changed, and I never looked at guys as long as they were doing it above board too. I went into California. They had flagged me for it. I was at a commission hearing, and this is when it was still legal. And I was saying, guys, I tested positive for a legal substance. And they go, yeah, but it could help your performance. Aren't you aware of that? I said, well, guys, that's the only reason I took it. I wouldn't take anything unless I thought it would help my performance. But on page 3 of your rule book, by name in the legal category is testosterone, as long as it's disclosed. I disclosed it in writing, signed and dated by your executive director prior to the match, and I took it. This is fair game. And they're like, well, it shouldn't be. Okay, well, that's a separate conversation.
Correct.
It's fair game. And they gave me 6 months. I went, well, guys, it doesn't work that way. You either got to give me the full suspension if I'm guilty, or you got to let me go if I'm not. And it sounds like you think I'm not based on your own rule book, but you still suspended me. And that was kind of the beginning. The reason I bring up that reference, because a lot of guys saw that I went through that. So then they didn't want to disclose it. So then you started seeing guys getting hit for testosterone, which if they would have just had the paperwork in place would have been okay. But a lot of them looked at it and go, well, yeah, but Chael had it all in place and they destroyed him. It'd be better for me to just take this under the radar and not tell anybody. It's like, yeah, I understand where you came to that conclusion. But if you go under the radar, you're cheating. If you come above board with the paperwork, you're not. And that distinction and discrepancy is very relevant. It's very relevant that you do it right.